Hello, underachievers. It's really hot. So, I had top surgery in January 2019. Top surgery is where you get your tits chopped off.
Hello, it's Editing Noah, and I have a fan now. But if you don't like the word boob, this is not the video for you.
So a lot of people don't really know how top surgery works, and like, that's kind of normal. I don't know why you would know how people get their tits cut off. And I get asked a lot of questions about top surgery, and I just thought, you know what? I'm just gonna make a video explaining how top surgery works. I've done top surgery Q&As before. I can do another one of them if I need to. Before I explain anything, please don't ask questions about, like, whether or not you qualify for a specific top surgery, or, like, which top surgery you should get. There are a few things about a person's chest that could perhaps, like, qualify them for a specific type of top surgery, but I cannot answer those questions. I cannot tell you what type of top surgery you can get. The only person that can do that is a surgeon. Nobody here is a, like, top surgery professional. So if you're wondering about what top surgery you're eligible for, then ask a surgeon. Don't ask me or a trans support group. Ask a surgeon. So I'm going to be talking about 3 types of top surgeries today because those are the most common ones. There are some other types of top surgeries that you could Google or you might have seen them. If that's something that someone's, like, curious about, I could make a video about that, but, like, these are the top surgeries that if you're looking into top surgery, you will probably get. So I'm going to be a surgeon today, and I will show you specifically where the cuts will be. So if you're not into seeing nipples, then I'm sorry. So, double incision. I'm too far away from the camera. So double incision is the most common type of top surgery. It's where there are 2 incisions, 2 very big incisions made across the chest. Usually larger chested people will get this, so if you're over a B cup, or, like, you know, around there, you'd probably get double incision for the best results. Also, if you have a small but saggy chest, this is probably the top surgery that you're most likely to get. So as I said, you'd end up with 2 big scars on your chest, but also there will be scarring around your nipples because they are taken off and repositioned. My scars are quite faded because I'm over a year post-op. I don't even know if you can see them on this camera, but I will show you. We'll have scars around here. Oh, that felt horrible. That felt really horrible. Oh my god. The scarring around the nipples will be there. You can't really see it that much if your scars fade pretty well. And then, obviously, you end up with 2 big... Oh, this feels horrible. I can't feel it. Oh my god, I didn't think that would feel horrible. Oh! If you get a double incision, these are the incisions you will get. So pretty much how it works is, say you have a boob right here. The first thing the surgeon does is he cuts on top of the boob and below the boob. So this will leave you with a big gaping hole, and what the surgeon does is they will pull these 2 incisions together and then sews them up. He stitches them up, and that's what makes the 1 incision. So this, you can't see it now because I've drawn on it. The incisions under my nipple come from scars like this. So the scars that I actually have on my chest have come from cutting on the top of the tip, cut from the bottom of the tip, and then pulling them together. I know what you're thinking. You're like, oh no, the whole boob, it's been removed. The nipple is on the boob. Yes, the nipple will be on the boob. But then, the surgeon then takes the boob with the nipple on top. He cuts around the nipple, and you know, he can reshape the nipple, he can resize the nipple. Most people want to get their nipples smaller because male nipples are more small. He will cut around the nipple and then put it on the chest. And he'll stitch it all up. For a natural nipple placement, they'll usually be, like, in line with your ears. And yeah, that's double incision. Obviously, it's not as simplistic as the surgeon just cutting off a tit, sewing it up a bit, and doing all that. Obviously, they gotta take all the breast tissue out, and they gotta shape your chest so that it looks flat, but, you know, not crazily flat. My surgeon, at least, wanted my chest to look natural, and so did I. I was like, I want a natural chest, I don't want it to look weird. So, obviously, with any type of top surgery, there are gonna be pros and cons of each technique. So, pros of double incision, all breast tissue can be removed. Your surgeon can really get in there, considering there's these massive holes in your chest. You can get in real deep, get all that titty tissue out, pull out all the fat, reshape it. Another benefit of this technique is that if it's done well, there won't be any leftover tissue or leftover skin. But if there is, you can always get a revision, and it's pretty easy to just, you know, cut off some extra skin. Another pro of this technique is that there's full access to the chest. You can go crazy when your whole chest is open. You can do whatever you want. They can put gummy bears in there, I don't know. They can do whatever they want. But, you know, realistically, this is a benefit because they can contour your chest so that it can look as natural as possible. You have full control of where your nipples are gonna be, of how big they're gonna be, of where on your body they're gonna be. That sounds weird. You're not gonna get nipples on your knees, but you can get teeny tiny nipples in the average male position of nipples, and it would be great. It would be great. And another benefit that I didn't really think of until I started filming this. If you don't want nipples, you can go nippleless. A lot of people, for whatever reason, feel dysphoric about their nipples. When they look at their nipples, they're like, ah, that makes me feel dysphoric. So if you want double incision and you don't want nipples, you can just have the nipples not put on. You'll just have 2 incisions. Obviously, there are also cons of this technique because it's quite extensive. The main issue that a lot of people have with double incision is that you're left with 2 big scars, you know, on your chest and then scarring around your nipples. Realistically, if you treat your chest well and if you're pretty healthy and you heal well, the scars will fade. Like, I'm less than 2 years post-op, and my scarring is it's really faded out. It's no way near as noticeable as it used to be. Another negative of this technique is that it's probably the most expensive top surgery you're gonna get. Obviously, different surgeons will have different prices, and you can get it free in some places, but it's the most major surgery, I'd guess. It's the most, you know, invasive. Big con of this technique is that you have less nipple sensation because, obviously, they're cut off. The nipple is literally removed from the stalk and then just stuck back on your chest. Although, a weird thing is that I don't know how this works. I still have, like, sensation in my nipples. It can feel numb sometimes, and it feels really uncomfortable sometimes, but it feels good sometimes. It's a nipple. My nipple works as a nipple. I had inverted nipples before I had top surgery, and now they are not inverted. They are nice and sticky outy, which is nice. I realized that I have to rub this Sharpie off my chest now to show you the other techniques. I didn't think about that. So I don't actually know why I drew on myself with Sharpie. I could have just used a biro or something, but I had to wipe it off with nail polish remover. And I have very sensitive skin, so now the old chest scars have gone red. So the next top surgery technique I'm going to be talking about today is periareola.
Did you realize I spoke that fast? I did not realize I spoke that fast.
So usually people who have like tight chests and good skin elasticity, they have a small chest, so not much tissue, and they have nipples in a pretty good place. Those are the kind of people that will be eligible for periareola. I've also seen a few things online where, like, dependent on like what angle of degrees your tit is lying on will depend on whether or not you can get peri or not. So if you have a lot of overhang, you probably can't qualify for peri. But if your chest is quite springy, then you might qualify for it. And again, only the surgeon can tell you whether or not you can qualify for peri. I can't do that. And scar-wise, with peri, there is only scarring around your nipples. I lost my pen. Hello? Okay. So the way that surgeons do peri is... I literally just found my pen and now I've lost it again. Are you joking? I literally just found it. So, with peri, there's an incision around your nipple. Ow, that was horrible. And then the second incision is a few inches away from the nipple, also in a circular shape. Like this. And then what happens with peri is that the nipple stays on its nipple stalk. The nipple stays on the chest. And if you've ever used a drawstring bag, kind of think of that. The surgeon will get right in there, take out all the tissue, you know, maybe some liposuction. And then they pull this skin towards the nipple, like this. So pretty much the skin that's being removed is this bit, like this whole section. And it's pulled towards like a drawstring bag, and then it's just sewed up into the nipple. So one pro of this surgery is obviously that there's less scarring than there is with double incision. It's less obvious that you've had surgery. It also takes less time for you to heal from periareola than it does from double incision. Peri is usually less expensive because it's less of, you know, a major surgery. It is a major surgery, but you know, it's less invasive. And a big reason why a lot of people choose peri over double incision is because you can retain the nipple sensation. Because your nipple's not taken away from the stalk, it's not literally cut off your body, the sensation is quite good. So if that's something you're into and you're kind of borderline double incision and peri, then that could be something that could sway you towards peri. Obviously, there are also some cons. So one big negative of peri is that a lot of the time people are left with loose skin, with excess skin, because depending on how full your chest is and how elastic your chest is, there could be, you know, there could be some issues there. You could also be left with excess tissue. So another con is that you're less likely to have a completely flat chest. And also because the nipples stay on your chest, it's a lot more difficult to position your nipples. So if you wanted nipples that were like perfectly placed, it's a lot less likely to happen with peri because you have less control over where the nipple is positioned on your body. And with periareola, you are a lot more likely than with double incision to need more revisions, where you get another surgery to correct some things that, you know, weren't quite right the first time. So the last technique I'm going to be talking about is keyhole. So this technique is only really used on people with very small chests, as in like A cup. You need to have very tight skin. You gotta have great skin elasticity. You'd probably need a nipple placement that you're kind of happy with. And keyhole leaves you with barely any scarring. You only have a tiny little scar on the nipple. So this one's easy to draw. Keyhole. Just this tiny incision. With keyhole, what your surgeon will do is they'll make a tiny incision there, and then they'll go in with some liposuction, and they'll just suck out all the tit. They'll just suck it up. So a massive benefit of this technique is that there are no highly visible scars. So if something you're worrying about is, you know, being able to be like clocked because you have big scarring, then like keyhole could be for you if you're eligible. Keyhole is also less of an extensive surgery, and it will be less expensive than the other techniques. And if what you're looking for is a completely like naturally, like you want to go for like the cis male chest, then this could bring you there because of the lack of scarring. So there are also some cons, unfortunately, with this technique. A massive con with this technique is that you can't resize your nipples. So, you know, if you have quite big nipples to start off with, then you're kind of gonna end up with big nipples. Your nipples can't change size because they don't remove the nipple from the skin. My camera died. Another big con of keyhole is that you can't reposition your nipples on your chest. So not only if you have large nipples you can't change the size of it, but if, you know, you're getting keyhole, your nipples could end up being quite low compared to most people's chests, because obviously you can't just You can't just change that if you're not getting the nipple taken off your body. Another negative is that it's very difficult to get a completely flat chest. You're not removing any skin when you get keyholes, so you know you're pretty likely to get loose skin afterwards, but you know that can get, if you exercise, you get buff, then that won't be noticeable. And again, like Perry, there is a high rate of revision because, you know, there might be some things that you just gotta revise. So that's about all I've got to say today. This video was a mess. This video was a mess, and if you have any questions that I just obviously missed and that I didn't answer, then please comment below. I will try and answer as many questions as I can. But yeah, that's the end of the video. Have a good day. Sorry, I've got scissors. Why did I have scissors? What was I doing with scissors? I was doing something with scissors. Right, that's the end of the video. Have a good day. See you later, losers. Don't know what's this about. Pow. I'm too hot. I'm really sorry. It's just boiling. I can't function.